It is a fairly young agency by some standards. We were formed right after 9/11.
How far this agency has come.
ICE is really moving into its own as a sophisticated law enforcement agency.
We are doing some of the most exciting and innovative work out there. We have to start with the history of two very distinct, very proud agencies with a long history, INS and the United States Customs Service.
How do you go about combining Immigration and Naturalization Service with Customs? Two separate missions, combining them into one.
I was over in the Commerce Building that morning, and I had a TV in the office I had never used. I'd only been there a month or so. Turned it on and watched, as we all watched, that horrible event. But I remember also the next day, you were really thinking about, okay, what is our response going to be as a country? And I remember feeling very confident that we would, and we would respond in a very strong way. And when the phone call came, I really felt in my own small way, this was an opportunity to help in that response. The budget was the biggest challenge I faced as Assistant Secretary, keeping the lights on. So, but while the challenges were many, the opportunities were great. From day one, you had an incredible array of talent and dedication. Yes, there were difficulties. Yes, they, had issues with some of the ways this had come about, but that never interfered, I felt, with their dedication to the mission.
Which targets violent gang members.
When I started at ICE, we still had budget challenges. And the agency also had broader structural challenges. It was going through a lot of growing pains in terms of really reasserting its leadership in certain enforcement areas. On the detention and removal side, there were also a lot of challenges. The American people in Congress really wanted us to be more efficient, and so we had to start thinking about business process and how could we really improve or re-engineer removal to make it better for the detainees that we served and also reduce the amount of time that individuals spent in removal proceedings. I was extremely proud on the management side that we were able to get to a clean audit in terms of our budget numbers. And that was very, very important for Congress in terms of continuing to give us the funding we needed to succeed. I was very proud of our special agents and the record numbers that they set in terms of export enforcement investigations, IPR investigations, immigration fraud investigations, and money laundering. And so they created some new centers like the IPR Center to really capitalize on all of our resources and use them more effectively. Got to throw in the lawyers. The ICE lawyers, I think, do a terrific job. There are a lot of authorities that hadn't been used in the same kind of ways. We were looking for the first time in bringing a trafficking investigation, how could we use asset forfeiture? So there are a lot of things that we were doing for new times and new ways, and the lawyers made a big difference in that. Well, I think the day that we opened the new building was such a wonderful time at ICE. The agency really did not have a headquarters that suited the men and women and the great work that they had done. And there was such pride at the agency in opening up a new building that really showed what a professional law enforcement agency it had. And that was quite a memorable day for me.
I, John Morton, do solemnly swear.
When I walked into ICE on my first day, I inherited an agency that was very different than my two predecessors. Mike Garcia had to build this agency from scratch. Julie put the professional management in place that was necessary. I wanted to go from that place where people were questioning why we existed or what we were doing to that point where people recognized ICE as a major force in federal law enforcement.
It is a very significant...
One of the things I do think I have brought to the agency during my time is a greater sense of identity for who we are and what we do.
We're here, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to be attacking them tomorrow in the same fashion.
I wanted to recognize ERO for what it was, an essential player in federal law enforcement. HSI, tremendous investigative capabilities and powers. I wanted to elevate that functioned so that it got the credit it was due. OPLA reviewing every single case on the immigration court docket and bringing discipline and some order to that docket. I wanted to make sure that management and administration was recognized for what it was, on par with the rest of the components in this agency.
I, Sarah Saldaña, do solemnly swear
that I will support.
I'm the fourth director who is presidentially appointed, Senate confirmed for the agency, and there have been some acting directors as well. Thank goodness that they have stepped in to keep the agency going.
It is a huge humanitarian crisis on the border right now.
I came on right at the heels of this tremendous influx of people coming in. They were trying to get into the country often because of their economic challenges in their homes, violence in the Central American countries. Obviously, there is a process to follow to come into the United States, and many of these people are not following that process. But in the end, they're people just like our citizens, and we should deal with them with dignity and respect. I'm very proud of the fact that we have focused on that over my tenure. I think we've moved the agency forward in a number of things, including cyber crimes. That is a very hot issue right now. Money laundering and other investigations, often involving transnational crime, that our Homeland Security Investigations Division is responsible for. Communications with our women and men within the agency and externally with the press, with the Congress, and with the American public to drive home the importance of what these folks here contribute to the safety of the American public. One of my proudest achievements is the creation of the Office of Community Engagement, which I just established, that has 25 officers across the country who are there to help create better lines of communication between us and the people we serve. I want to recognize the hard work and talent of our 20,000 strong, both domestic and foreign. We're in 46 countries. This is kind of an extraordinary time for that one aspect of our mission, and that is the immigration aspect. The heat is intense, the spotlight is bright. I try to do as well as the women and men of ICE do in ignoring all the noise and keeping my eye on the ball. It is time to leave behind these issues of, is this legacy custom, is this legacy INS? We've got one mission, one goal, and that's the security of our homeland. Everywhere I go, the lawyers, the enforcement side, our agents and officers out there, as well as our special agents on the investigative side at Homeland Security Investigations, working together, identifying issues, identifying problems in different communities, and moving our agency forward in its mission.
I walk through the halls here and I see such a professional operation and such a focused mission. Godspeed. I think the agency is in terrific shape. You have great leadership and a terrific mission.
And I know it's a very tough job, often an underappreciated job, but your country needs you, and we're thankful for you, and I look forward to seeing all the great successes of this agency in many years to come.
And people like me come and go, and it's important for an agency to have good leadership, but at the end of the day, it is all about the line people who get up every day and carry out the work of the agency.
Good morning, gentlemen. This morning we're going after our at-large criminal alien.
Broad mission, important mission, and one that the women and men of ICE should be very proud of. They're not just meeting their job, they're exceeding it.